This probably doesn't come as a surprise, but Charlie Kirk has died, got shot, horrible. Um, Rest in peace. And the killer has been caught. So we're gonna
I've been
watch
up
it.
all night again for the second time this week already. Insomnia is absolutely bending me over. Now that I've turned 31, all of a sudden I've unlocked the superpower of insomnia. And while I've been up, I've just been digesting things, learning things about like aliens and geodes because of like the life on Mars rock. And while I was perusing that, I
Random.
saw the breaking news that they caught the man responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, and I'm pretty sure they actually got the shooter this time. In the beginning, there was a lot of hoopla because they brought in like two
Yeah, like the old guy. Jesus, those picture of him. They just caught like poor old guy.
octogenarians claiming that it could be the shooter.
Luckily, he didn't get killed.
It wasn't. This time, though, they absolutely got the right guy. He is definitely the shooter. He was turned in by his father. I'm pretty confident I don't need to explain what happened. I imagine all of you are familiar with it by now, but just in case, Charlie Kirk was on a college campus in Utah where he was inviting the audience to debate him on a variety of topics. And while doing that, he was shot in the neck and he died. It is fucking terrible.
Yeah, but like what I see as the worst thing is how people are actually celebrating it. One thing is to just like don't care. I guess that's okay. You have a lot of shootings every year, a lot of people getting killed, you have terrorist attacks, just a man dying. Again, it's a bad thing. And if you don't, if you didn't like the person and you don't really care that he died, that's just one thing. But when you're actually trying to celebrate it, you're being happy, wow, that's just a totally different thing. And that's just horrendous. Because this shows that these people, they don't actually care if somebody gets killed if they don't believe the same thing that you do. And that's dangerous. This person don't have the same beliefs as me. And he gets killed because of that. And you're celebrating. Like, that's going in the wrong direction. Completely wrong direction. And just imagine if everybody should kill the people they don't agree with. And then people getting happy. That's some fucked up shit.
The videos are sickening. They are very gruesome. I don't recommend watching them. The gunman, now ID'd as
Too late.
Tyler Robinson, was positioned roughly like 200 yards away on top of a building, and he escaped for a little while. He jumped off the building. We have footage of all of this. I had planned on showing you some of the footage of Tyler Robinson, running away with the rifle and everything. But I mean, I guess it's worth mentioning why I'm not. I actually made this video like 3 or so hours ago, and when I finished rendering it, I went to my channel to find out I got a copyright strike from a news agency for using some of their clips when going over the topic of that.
That's okay. I don't think that should be legal. I think that should be fair use. Especially if you take clips here and there. And they're trying to be news. You're trying to get it out to people. So if somebody else is using that content, I think that should be a good thing.
That doctor that would walk around his office butt ass naked for a long time, had even ejaculated on a patient slash employee, even called himself the Naked Doctor. I was covering that fucking wacko, and I
Okay.
used some of that news footage and got struck for it today. So I don't know if I'm allowed to use news footage here, so I'm going to refrain from showing any clips when talking about everything in regards to the Charlie Kirk assassination, because I want to make sure this video doesn't get taken down. I think this is something very important and something that I really want to talk about. Anyway, Tyler Robinson's father alerted authorities that he believed his son.
Jesus, the bullet kit casings are just notice bulges. Ooh, what's this? That's fucking that's insane. Hey, facet, like you have something about being gay also, I think.
Was the shooter they were looking for, and obviously the investigators followed up. They investigated and found
Oh, yeah,
sufficient
if you read this, you're gay. Left my ass off.
evidence to conclude that this could very likely be the person responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They also found 4 bullet casings that were engraved with messages on them. So the one fired casing read, "Notices bulges, OWO, what's this?" Which is a furry meme. It's like one of those old, like, Tumblr furry memes, I think, about, like,
The problem is that this is a person that has been too much on the internet, you know. Probably like some Reddit or some like other social media. And the problem is that you're just surrounded by like a lot of the times some very extreme people, and you're just going around with like their own ideas, and you don't have a people coming from the outside being like, this is bad. You just build on these ideas over and over again with these also insane people until you have something like this happening.
nuzzles you rar, that kind of shit. He had other messages on the other casings, the ones that were unfired. So one of them said, "Hey fascist, catch," and then had up arrow, right arrow, and then down arrow 3 times, which people were quick to pick up on as a Helldivers reference. Another one said, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao," which is apparently a reference to an Italian anti-fascist song. And then finally, another one said, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." I think these engravings paint a pretty clear picture of a fucking cringe loser. This is a lunatic. This is a maniac. But according to those close to him, he wasn't like politically active or anything until recently, which I think sounds right.
But again, that could be you can be in your little bubble on the social media and being politically active, like, and family probably didn't know this.
Politics has become turbocharged over just the last handful of years to the point where people can go from like not really being involved or only dipping their toes in to being just full blown fucking radicalized and just
Then that's another problem. If you go from absolutely nothing, have no knowledge, that's a word frame. I'm just gonna. If you go from absolutely nothing, and then you're just like, politics, okay, and then you begin to dabble in it, and then if you don't speak to people in real life, if you don't look at the debates and shit, you can very easily just be dragged into an extreme very, very fast, and then and this is the only thing you know about politics, and this is the right thing, and then you just end up doing some bad shit.
off their rocker, off their fucking gourd in politics. Like it is, everything is just accelerating at such a scary, alarming rate. Something
Yeah.
else worth mentioning here: the authorities were
Again, like in most of terrorist attacks, comes from politics. It could either be religious or just like normal politics.
claiming that Tyler was communicating via Discord about this. However, Discord is coming out and saying that it found no evidence that the suspect planned the shooting on its platform or promoted violence. It was apparently reported by Utah Governor Spencer Cox that the shooter's roommate showed investigators Discord conversations with someone listed as Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, watching the area where the rifle was left, and having left it wrapped up in a towel. But Discord saying they can't find those messages that were referenced in that reporting. So that one is still a little shaky as of me making this video, but I thought it was worth mentioning here. Now, already outside of the obvious major conversation that's been being had here about political violence, there is now like another separate conversation that's starting to break through because of the engravings on the ammo casing, because Helldivers was referenced. So now a lot of people are pointing the finger at video games, which
It's always the video games. Always, just way back from Columbine. They played video games? What? Like the problem now is that most people play video games. And especially men. Almost every single guy plays some sort of video games. And then, like, there isn't really a relation between the video game and what the person is doing. It's like, if you see that the like that's like saying like, oh, ice cream causes people to kill people because most killers have eaten ice cream. It's just like it's just stupid and it doesn't have any relations. And it can also be somewhat of a one-way relation where you like the game, like for example, you like GTA because you want to kill people and that's why you go around killing people in GTA. But I think we have enough studies around this. It's not the game itself that causes somebody to kill people. If you play something like GTA or Doom or whatever, and you want to kill somebody because of the game isn't the problem. The problem is the person.
Is something that has historically happened in the past with people immediately trying to scapegoat video games as like the catalyst
Yeah,
for
yeah, it's all, like everything when you have something kind of new, like energy drinks or just whatever, everybody's going crazy about it.
a tragedy. This is a path that's been walked hundreds of times before, and I'm sure it'll be walked hundreds of times again. Do I think Helldivers had any role to play in this monster carrying out this
Oh.
assassination on Charlie Kirk? No, I don't. I don't think video games are ever really to blame. Anyway, as of now, there's been
Yeah, because you don't become a murderer from playing a video game.
a lot of misinformation flooding around with like different Tyler Robinsons and also like people making claims about whether he's a Democrat or a Republican, which is obviously a big subject here considering the motive being political.
Yeah.
Now, with all the available information about what they found as well as like where he's potentially been, to me it seems like he's more left-leaning than right, but nothing
Yeah, like it wouldn't make sense for him if he's right-leaning and then killing somebody, a right-leaning person.
is 100% confirmed, and there's so much information it's hard to know for sure. A lot of people are saying since he grew up in a Republican household and there's so many photos of him at a young age around guns, he must be a Republican. But that's not always the case. Kids don't always grow up to be just carbon copies, clones of their parents and their beliefs. Like, yes, they're more inclined to follow those beliefs, but it's not always how it works out. And according to people closest to him, he got much more political over the last couple of years, so anything could have changed. There's no
Yeah, I think like he went to college, and I know like colleges in United States often are more left-leaning. So if he went to college and then he began to become political, he will most likely be more left-leaning.
telling for sure. But this definitely does seem to be a
And also you like the fastest bullet thing, which doesn't make sense because he probably thought that Charlie Kirk was the fastest, and if he was very oh shit right-leaning, it doesn't add up.
politically motivated assassination, which, if you ask me, is a horrible thing. And my heart breaks for the family that is now without a father. I think it is bad. I know, classic Charles with a grass is green take, but I also want to mention something that a lot of people kept saying, I'm sure you've seen it in the comment section or on streams or elsewhere, about how I'm dodging this topic and refusing to speak on it. And people even go as far as to say that I am endorsing political violence by not making a video on it.
I think you're taking it a little bit too far
Which I find to
when you
just
say that.
be unhinged. I find that to be so fucking twisted. Especially considering it's not like I've been shy on this subject. Since
And especially like I don't think Charlie does like a lot of political stuff.
it happened, I have covered it extensively during streams. I've been mainly gaming because I've been in such a fucking huge gaming arc in my life right now, but I have still talked about it a lot. And I said from day one I planned on making a video once the shooter was caught because I was very confident the shooter would be apprehended pretty quickly. like they had a substantial amount of footage showing him on the roof, jumping off the roof, even wandering through the neighborhoods. They even had pretty clear photos that they released to the public that showed a lot of this guy's face. So I was pretty certain that they were going to either catch him pretty quickly, track him down, and get them themselves, or what ended up happening, someone would recognize him and turn him in. So I wanted to wait for that to happen so that way I could make a video covering the entire situation here because I find it to be such a big deal. But since I was mainly talking about it on streams instead of in a video, which by the way, if I did do like a video when it happened, a follow-up video, and then this video, people would accuse me of milking a tragedy. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But because I was talking about it on streams, people accused me of trying to hide it there. Basically saying that doesn't count, it only matters if you make a video on it. So let me be crystal clear here. I think the assassination of Charlie Kirk, everything that happened here is fucking horrible. I think it is horrific, awful. I think it is terrible. And I'm aware that some people have been celebrating this. I find that
That's the most scariest, like, that's the scariest part.
to be fucking disgusting. Now, as I said,
You know, like, it kind of makes me happy when you have people going after these people that are celebrating, you know, and writing letters to their jobs so they can get fired. You know, I feel like, yeah, that's a pretty good thing.
on stream, I don't know much about Charlie Kirk. And I've seen a lot of people saying that now when like giving their take on this, and I think a lot of them are just making that shit up because they don't want to get like too deep into the nitty-gritty or anything. But truly, I have been very offline over the last year and some change, so I haven't seen a whole lot of Charlie Kirk. The things I know about him come through like adjacent discussions, like with Epstein files or South Park. Of course, after all this happened, I did see a bunch of the clips that people were tossing around from like his talks or from debates, and it's things I don't agree with for sure. But even still, what happened here is bad. Even though I didn't agree with him from all of the things I've seen, it still doesn't change the way I feel about this being a horrifying, terrible thing that happened to him. I think that's very standard. I know people are gonna find that to be just
Yeah, like, you can either be like sad, think it's a bad thing. That's probably the best. You can be neutral, you know, like you don't really care. That's also okay, but when you're trying to celebrate it.
yep, grass is green take from Charlie, but it's the truth. It's how I feel. Political violence or violence of any kind like this, I think is just fucking unacceptable and it's extremely scary. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this a bit. That's it.
Yeah, it's very sad, and I don't know what else to say about it, but yeah, you see this guy, he's pretty cool. So give a like for him, then he would be happy. Bye.